For years, whispers and speculation have surrounded the DeBarge family, with Bobby DeBarge at the center of it all. Now, after decades of silence, the family has finally come forward, confirming the rumors that long overshadowed their legacy. But why now? Join us as we delve into the details of a story marked by pain, addiction, and tragedy.
I hope I'm not too good at cunning. Well, I'm only good at bad things.
The life of Bobby DeBarge. Bobby DeBarge, born Robert Louis DeBarge Jr. on March 5, 1956 in Detroit, Michigan, grew up in a household steeped in both music and turmoil. He was the eldest of 10 children. The family faced significant struggles, including financial instability and a bad father, which shaped Bobby's upbringing and influenced his later artistry. Despite these challenges, music became a beacon of hope for Bobby and his siblings. Their mother, a devoutly religious woman with a background in music, encouraged their talents, planting the seeds for their future success. Bobby's musical journey began in his childhood, where he demonstrated a natural gift for singing and playing instruments. By the time he was a teenager, he had mastered the piano and other instruments. This passion for music gave him a much-needed escape from the difficulties of his home life. Bobby's love for soul and R&B grew as he immersed himself in the sounds of Motown and other influential artists of the time, shaping his unique style.
A long time. I'm very proud of it. I wrote and produced most of it myself. It's all about me. Check it out.
In the late 1960s, the DeBarge family moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan. This relocation marked a turning point for Bobby, as it was in this more stable environment that his musical aspirations began to take shape. He formed his first group with his younger brothers, honing their skills by performing at local venues and talent shows. His falsetto voice, which would later become his signature, was both powerful and haunting, leaving audiences captivated. As Bobby entered his late teens, he was determined to pursue a career in music. He joined White Heat, a Grand Rapids-based band, where his role as a vocalist and keyboardist allowed him to develop his craft more. White Heat specialized in funk, a genre that aligned perfectly with Bobby's energetic style and ability to infuse emotion into his performances. It was during this time that Bobby's skills as a songwriter began to shine. He co-wrote several tracks for the band, displaying a keen sense for melody and storytelling. White Heat caught the attention of Barry White, the iconic singer and producer. White signed the band to his record label, 20th Century Records, and they released their self-titled debut album in 1975. While the album didn't achieve commercial success, it provided Bobby with invaluable experience in the music industry. The following year, Barry White made the significant decision to overhaul the band's lineup, retaining only one musician, a move driven by ongoing tax complications. The group at the time included DeBarge, Williams, Philip Ingram, Tommy DeBarge, T.C. Brown, Stanley Brown, Jody Sims, Arnett Hayes, Adam Fry, Darnell Wyrick, MC Clark, and Stanley Hood. Despite the challenges, the restructured group managed to record an album in 1976 under the name Hot Ice. This record, titled Pall Mall Groove, showcased their collective musicality.
I wrote Real Love after hanging out a lot of nightclubs, seeing the little girls fresh out of school. Didn't seem like they knew what they was doing, just following the trend. So I just wrote Real Love, let them know what it really was all about.
And especially highlighted DeBarge's extraordinary vocal and piano prowess on the heartfelt composition, Please Don't Let Me Go. Released in 1977 through Polydor in Germany, it later saw wider distribution with a 1979 release in the United States and Canada through Source Records and MCA, and a 2005 global reissue by Burnsman Records. During this period, DeBarge faced personal struggles. After the band's reformation and subsequent endeavors, he returned to his hometown of Grand Rapids. Overwhelmed by the lack of momentum in his career, he succumbed terribly to the grip of substance addiction, his aspirations dimming under the weight of despair. Meanwhile, Gregory Williams, Another member of the dissolved White Heat stayed in Akron and began plotting a musical revival. Determined and resourceful, Williams sought out new collaborators, bringing together Tommy DeBarge, Philip Ingram, Jody Sims, Eddie Fluellen, MC Clark, and Arnett Hayes to form a fresh ensemble. Their creative synergy led to the production of a demo tape, which Williams, ever ambitious, presented to Motown Records. The iconic label expressed immediate interest, impressed by the group's dynamic ability to switch between instruments, a versatility that inspired their new name, Switch. At this critical juncture, Williams extended an invitation to DeBarge, urging him to join the new band. Recognizing this as a golden opportunity to reignite his stalled career, so DeBarge made a personal commitment to overcome his addiction and refocus on his passion for music.
I do, yeah.
Are you going to bring them up and have them fill in when you get tired? Is it true when you were out on the road you didn't realize that you had a hit cooking?
Oh, we sure didn't.
That comes a rather nice surprise.
Yeah, it's very surprising, you know, we really...
Motown soon signed the promising group, solidifying their lineup, which now included Bobby DeBarge, alongside his brother Tommy. This marked the beginning of a transformative era for both the band and its members, setting the stage for Switch to rise as a prominent force in the music industry. The break in breaking. In 1978, Switch experienced a significant breakthrough with the release of their self-titled debut album. Produced by Jermaine Jackson, the album quickly gained attention for its exceptional blend of smooth harmonies and infectious funk grooves. At its heart was the soul-touching ballad, There'll Never Be, a track solely penned by Bobby DeBarge. This emotionally charged song captivated listeners with its heartfelt lyrics and delicate melody, becoming an instant hit and propelling the album to gold status.
Well, that's what you got to figure out. That's exactly that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, I understand.
I see James.
What do you look like?
Well,
Bobby's ability to channel raw emotion into his songwriting became a defining feature of Switch's success, affirming his role as a creative force within the group. The album also included the tender ballad, I Want to Be Closer, with lead vocals shared by Philip Ingram and Bobby, showcasing the group's dynamic vocal chemistry. Bobby's role in Switch was crucial. As the band's lead vocalist and keyboardist, he brought a dynamic energy to their performances and recordings. His ability to convey raw emotion through his falsetto voice set him apart from other singers of the era. Along with other members, Bobby helped shape Switch's sound. Building on their early success, Switch released their sophomore effort, Switch 2, in 1979. Again produced by Jermaine Jackson, the album continued their winning streak, earning another gold certification. Among its standout tracks was the soulful I Call Your Name, another DeBarge creation. Bobby's soaring falsetto and emotional delivery became synonymous with the band's identity, setting them apart in the competitive R&B landscape. With each performance, Bobby's multi-octave vocal range and electrifying stage presence captivated audiences, solidifying Switch as a formidable recording and performing act. By this point, their reputation as one of the premier bands in the R&B and funk genres was firmly established. In 1980, Switch unveiled their third album, Reaching for Tomorrow, and later that year, their fourth, This Is My Dream. The fourth album marked a significant turning point for the group. Departing from Jermaine Jackson's production, founding members Bobby DeBarge, Jody Sims, and Gregory Williams took creative control, co-producing the album themselves. The project's highlight was the heartfelt track, Love Over and Over Again, which resonated deeply with fans. This shift in production showed the group's artistic evolution. However, beneath the surface of their professional success, Bobby was grappling with personal demons that began to strain his relationships within the band. After several years of sobriety, Bobby succumbed to the pressures of fame and unresolved childhood trauma, returning to increased substance use. His substance addiction created tension within Switch, threatening the group's cohesion just as they were reaching their artistic peak. By 1981, the strain became unbearable. Following the release of their fifth album, Switch 5, Bobby abruptly left the group. Motown had offered him a solo recording deal, which he finalized 2 years later in 1983. His departure marked the end of an era for Switch, as Bobby had been the creative and emotional core of their sound. His departure from Switch had lasting repercussions for the band. Without his creative input and iconic falsetto, the group struggled to maintain their previous momentum. While Switch continued to release music, they were unable to replicate the magic of their earlier work. Bobby's absence underscored how integral he had been to their identity, both as a songwriter and performer. As Switch's golden era faded, Bobby's legacy endured through the music he left behind. His contributions to the band's success were immeasurable, and his influence on the R&B genre was profound. Despite the challenges he faced, Bobby DeBarge wasn't ready to give up music. By the time Bobby DeBarge left Switch, he had become a force within his family's musical dynasty, using his talents to guide and shape the success of his younger siblings' group, DeBarge. Already renowned for his work as the lead singer of the R&B group Switch, Bobby transitioned into a mentorship role. He began overseeing the production of his siblings' albums and contributing to their signature sound. His influence extended to their debut album, where he co-produced and co-wrote alongside his younger brother El, the heartfelt track Queen of My Heart, released in 1981. On this song, Bobby showcased his remarkable falsetto in emotive ad-libs that heightened its appeal. This track was later reimagined on DeBarge's third album in a special way, released in 1983, with El refining the production to create an even more polished version. However, things began to shake within the group. The downfall. As the 1980s progressed, it wasn't long before shifts within the group began to mirror changes in Bobby's own path. By 1987, El and their sister Bunny left DeBarge to pursue solo careers, with El achieving considerable success. Meanwhile, Bobby struggled to launch his own solo career. Despite his ambition, his debut album failed to gain traction, prompting him to rejoin his siblings in a revamped version of DeBarge. This new quartet recorded the album Bad Boys, a project that featured Bobby and his younger brother James sharing vocal leads. While the album showcased the group's potential, external pressures soon overshadowed their efforts. In 1988, Bobby's career came to a halt when he was convicted of substance smuggling in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The conviction resulted in a 5-year prison sentence, a devastating blow to his personal and professional life. Bobby's incarceration forced him to confront the consequences of his choices. During his time in prison, he reflected deeply on his turbulent journey, which had been marred by substance addiction and strained relationships with his family and collaborators. But even behind bars, Bobby's passion for music endured. He envisioned a return to the industry and began working on new material. After his release, he reconnected with former bandmates and pursued opportunities to rekindle his career. However, the landscape of the music industry had shifted during his absence. Bobby's reputation as a troubled artist presented significant obstacles, and he struggled to regain the momentum that had once defined his career. Bobby's solo aspirations were fueled by a desire to craft music that reflected his personal journey and artistic growth. He continued to write and record music, channeling his life experiences into his work. His final solo album, It's Not Over, was intended to showcase his evolution as an artist. However, the project faced repeated delays, largely due to Bobby's ongoing struggle with addiction. When the album was finally released in 1988, it displayed his undeniable talent, but failed to achieve commercial success. The industry had shifted, and Bobby's challenges overshadowed his artistic contributions. The album lacked the cohesion and promotional support needed to make a significant impact. Tragically, Bobby did not live to witness its distribution. During the late 1980s, he contracted HIV, a diagnosis he initially kept private. Over the years, his health steadily declined due to complications from AIDS. By the early 1990s, the effects of his years-long battle with substance addiction had worsened his health issues, leaving him more vulnerable to illness. In his final years, Bobby confided in his family, relying on their presence and support as he grappled with his diagnosis and its implications. When he became gravely ill, his family sent him to a hospice in Grand Rapids. Bobby passed away on August 16, 1995, at the age of 39. Bobby had 2 children, Christian and Bobby III, from his wife, Terry, whom he married after he split from LaToya Jackson of the Jackson family in 1984. He is buried in Garfield Park Cemetery in Grand Rapids. His demise marked the premature end of a career that, while brief, had left a mark on the world of R&B. Bobby was remembered not only for his extraordinary talent, but also for the complexity of his character. His falsetto voice, both powerful and poignant, became a hallmark of his artistry, capable of conveying profound heartbreak and joy. His ability to infuse raw emotion into his music resonated deeply with listeners and set him apart as a singular talent. Almost 2 years after TV One aired the episode of Unsung, featuring the musical group Switch, a biopic about Bobby DeBarge was released by the network in June 2019. In this particular movie, the character of Bobby DeBarge was played by Roshan Fegan, known for his role in Disney shows. Bobby DeBarge's story is one of immense talent, unfulfilled potential, and the enduring power of music to connect and heal. His life was marked by both triumph and tragedy, reflecting the duality of an artist who achieved greatness while grappling with profound personal challenges. Despite the hardships he faced, Bobby's passion for music never waned. Even decades after his passing, Bobby's legacy remains a source of inspiration. His contributions to R&B continue to resonate, reminding audiences of his exceptional artistry and the depth of his impact on the genre. While his career was tragically cut short, the music he created continues to inspire listeners, making sure his voice will never be forgotten. And finally, the DeBarge family has confirmed the rumors that have lingered for years. About the DeBarge family. The DeBarge family, celebrated for their soulful contributions to 1980s music, endured a deeply troubled past that significantly impacted their lives and careers. Their story is a demonstration of how early trauma can ripple through every aspect of a person's existence, leaving scars that are not easily healed. The family's patriarch, Robert DeBarge Sr., a man with a commanding presence, was often described as overly controlling and harshly punitive toward his wife, who was gentle and nurturing. The interracial nature of their union during a time of societal tension added an additional layer of complexity to their home life. Allegations of inappropriate behavior by the father toward some of his children have cast a long shadow over the family's legacy. One of the siblings reportedly revealed that such acts deeply affected the household dynamic, creating an environment where trust and safety were perpetually compromised. These traumatic experiences profoundly shaped the emotional and psychological development of the DeBarge children. The pain inflicted during their formative years translated into a variety of struggles later in life. Music became both a refuge and an outlet for their emotions, with the family band achieving considerable success. The eldest brother became a prominent voice in R&B, gaining attention for its smooth sound and compelling melodies. Despite his success, he fell prey to the allure of substances that offered a temporary escape from the lingering pain of his childhood. His reliance on these substances eventually led to legal issues and a tragic decline in his health, resulting in his untimely passing. Another sibling, El DeBarge, emerged as a standout figure in the family's second musical group, which rose to fame with chart-topping hits. His talent for creating emotionally resonant songs captivated audiences, but the pressures of fame and the unresolved turmoil from his upbringing proved overwhelming. Over time, he succumbed to a dependency that led to multiple legal entanglements. Each arrest and subsequent sentence highlighted the depths of his struggles. as well as the toll that unresolved trauma can take on even the most gifted individuals. The family's only daughter, Bunny, faced her own battles, but she found solace and eventual healing through a deeply personal spiritual journey. She spoke candidly about her father's ability to dismiss or minimize his actions, noting that while she harbored no hatred for him, his behavior had left an indelible mark on her life. Her decision to address her challenges head-on and reconnect with her faith ultimately helped her overcome many of the obstacles she faced. Also, one of the siblings, James DeBarge, briefly captured public attention with a high-profile marriage to a music icon. The union was short-lived, but its dissolution revealed cracks in his personal foundation that were later increased by substance use and legal troubles. Reports suggest that he spent significant periods in confinement, a stark contrast to the glittering promise of his earlier life. His story underscores how quickly unresolved issues can derail even the most promising futures. A younger member of the family, Chico DeBarge, also pursued a solo career, releasing music that resonated with audiences. However, his career was marred by legal issues stemming from his involvement with substances. He spent several years incarcerated, reflecting on the time lost and the choices that led him there. Despite the challenges, moments of redemption and recovery punctuate the DeBarge family's story. Some siblings took active steps to confront their past and seek healing. For one brother, his time in confinement served as a turning point, allowing him to address his long-standing issues with dependency. Upon his release, he expressed gratitude for the chance to start anew and committed himself to rebuilding his life. His reflections on those years carry a note of regret as he acknowledged the impact of his actions on his life and career. The family's only sister, too, demonstrated remarkable resilience, drawing on her faith as a source of strength and inspiration. Their mother, a deeply spiritual woman, has often reflected on the challenges her children faced. She noted how the music industry, with its demands and duplicity, exacerbated the struggles they were already grappling with. Despite the pain, she remained a steadfast source of support, offering her children love and encouragement as they navigated their journeys. The DeBarge family story is a clear reminder of how unresolved pain can reverberate through generations. Their talent and creativity brought them fame and adoration, but the shadows of their past often eclipse their achievements. The interplay between their troubled upbringing, their struggles with dependency, and the pressures of fame creates a narrative that is both deeply moving and tragically familiar. Ultimately, their journey is one of extraordinary highs and devastating lows, a proof of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. While their story is undeniably marked by sadness, it also serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of addressing and healing from past wounds to pave the way for a brighter future. So what do you think about the devastating story of Bobby DeBarge and his family? Let us know in the comments. If you want more interesting revelations, be sure to like, subscribe, and watch the next video shown on your screen. See you there.